Hello and good morning from Horseshoe Valley, Ontario, Canada, about an hour and a half north of Toronto. This is EMBA Career Day. It's your day, not mine. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because I know I have people watching from across the world. Why did I start this day? It's because I'm always, as an expert in managing and advancing the careers of EMBA graduates and candidates, I'm always being asked questions, and a lot of them are very repetitive. So I thought I would share my vast knowledge and passion, commitment to advancing and managing the careers of senior executives with you. So this is your day, not mine. You are the viewer, and come armed with questions. I'm looking forward to answering those questions. I have a deep history in executive career management. I've been running my own business for 26 years and held multiple certifications in resume writing, CV writing, and coaching. And I'm passionate, absolutely passionate about helping EMBAs. So I have been working in this niche, this particular niche, EMBAs, Executive Master of Business Administrations, for 14 years since I was engaged by a business school here in Canada to write the resumes for all their graduates, do some coaching and write cover letters, etc. And I've uncovered this niche, and it's an unserviced niche, and I'm here to help you. I'm here to answer your questions today. This is your day, not mine. So I've just completed work with my 2045th EMBA. So that's a lot of people. So I feel I am an expert in this field, and I'm really passionate about helping and advancing the careers of EMBA. So please put in the comments initially where you're from, where you currently reside, and what business school you went to, and then we will go on to the onto the questions. So I'm more than happy after this conversation, more than happy to answer any of your questions in an email. I'm also happy to provide you with a free, no obligation resume or CV critique and a LinkedIn audit. So questions, please. So we got one from Photius. I know where he is. I think he's in Geneva. How to best use an EMBA for career and sector transition? That's a great question, and I was hoping somebody would answer that. So an EMBA, you've gone through several months or many months, depending on the program. You've gone through many months of hassle. It's not an easy degree. It's highly regarded in good economies and bad economies. And I'm seeing just in the COVID recession, if you want to call it, lots of my clients who are EMBAs either working in their own or transitioning to a new career, and some of them getting multiple offers. But you have to be proud of that degree, and you have to sell that degree, because it's a different degree to MBAs generally. So let's answer Photius's question. It's a long, this is a long one. You are everybody here, and this is probably going to be a little bit repetitive today, but everybody on viewing today is a product. You are selling that product. First of all, doesn't matter what function you're in, whether you're engineering, supply chain, finance, sales, marketing, or any other function, research, you are a salesperson. You are selling yourself. You have to be number one. And particularly if you are transitioning careers. So what your EMBA will help you because you've widened your skill set, you've broadened your skill set in the various modules, and you need to portray that in your CV, in your resume, what skill sets you learned and what skill sets you have, soft skills and hard skills, preferably hard skills. But you can transition between functions, but you have to show the transferable skills in your CV or your resume. And this is just as important. So many people don't believe this, and so many people eliminate this from their career portfolio, for want of a better term, is that they don't use LinkedIn and they don't sell themselves on LinkedIn. We'll talk a little bit about LinkedIn. Hopefully somebody will ask a question about LinkedIn, but you need to sell those skills that you believe in a new area you can transition to, and on your LinkedIn, as well as a resume and your CV. Resumes and CVs are the same, by the way, just depends on where you are in the world, different name. So you need to have a dynamic, especially if you're transitioning career, you need to have a dynamic resume, CV, a performance-driven document telling the world that you are a performer. And then in that, and accompanying that resume, that CV, you need to have a cover letter. So a resume takes you from today backwards, and a cover letter takes you from today forwards. So the cover letter is written in the personal pronoun, the word I, my, he or she, and then the resume is a historical document. It documents your career history. So you need to show maybe some stories on how you can transition, how you've transitioned maybe before you got your EMBA, and those soft and hard skills that are applicable in sales, and then maybe transitioning to supply chain or vice versa. You can't really go too far to the left or too far to the right, but yeah, you can change careers. And I've got many successful clients, both EMBAs and my C-suite and vice president, director level clients who've transitioned careers over years. And as we emerge, the world is emerging from this COVID recession. That makes it a little bit easier for you to transition. I was seeing it a lot before, previous 16 months prior to COVID. There were a lot of people easily transitioning, especially EMBAs. So you need to think of yourself as a salesperson and then start networking within that environment, that sector where you want to go to. So if you're going from sales to supply chain or vice versa, if you're going to supply chain, you need to start networking in that environment. So use LinkedIn, use Facebook. They are both amazing tools. More and more executive recruiters are using Facebook to source talent, believe it or not. So, and then start connecting with influencers of those in those particular companies where you want to go. Remember, you are a sales guy. Salespeople, professional salespeople, pinpoint, target. This is what you need to do now. But ironically, sales as a profession, as a function, are the world's worst at selling themselves. So hopefully that gives you a little bit. I mean, I could go on and on for hours, but about that. But you can, with an EMBA, transition. But you need to really treat it as all job search. If you're in career transition, all job search is a full-time gig. So here's a good question from David. When you are stuck in a role 7 years post-MBA, how do you springboard into the next role? I can sell the experience and the approach, but what about the qualification? Where is that audience? Okay, so I've just written as I say, 2045th CV in the EMBA. I highlight that on a resume or a CV as a career differentiator, or academic differentiator, academic value add, because it's now seen by hiring authorities, not all, but more and more as we go through the ages, more and more people are now recognizing the benefits of an EMBA versus any other degree. It's a tough slog. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I admire every single one of you who've gone through that EMBA. I'm really passionate about helping EMBA graduates and candidates reach their career goals, because it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a major investment. So you can. What was the question again? Let me just go qualification. Where's the audience? So the audience is waiting for you to connect on LinkedIn. You need to pinpoint, David, where you want to go. Don't be like this, but be narrow, like a bullseye. And then if that bullseye doesn't work, you go to the next circle out. And then if that doesn't work, you go to the next one out. But don't go all over the place. The wider you go, the worse it's going to be for you, and the minimal traction you're going to get. So you need to target. And where is that audience? That audience is waiting for you to tell why you want to go and work for them, the value add you can bring in London or wherever you want to go. So you can springboard into your next role, but it's more difficult, especially in today's economy, but it's not impossible at all. But you just need to have that sales hat on rather than your hat where you are maybe in finance or supply chain or whatever. But I can tell you that an EMBA, where I used to travel a lot, I used to speak at business schools, I used to speak at career fairs or professional associations across the world. And I used to network with executive recruiters in each city I went to across the world. And I educated them on the benefits of hiring an EMBA. And now they are all, well, not all of them, but they're embracing that. People are now knowing a lot about EMBAs, whereas before they didn't. I am, as I say, really passionate about helping you guys. This is your forum today. You're coming forward with some good questions. So let's move on to the next one from Alan. Well, there's been a lot of talk about that, a lot of conversation in the hiring community, recruiting community. I don't think LinkedIn will replace. It's been around 18 years last week. It was their 18th birthday. I don't think LinkedIn is just another tool. Remember the days before LinkedIn? What did we do? I can't really remember how it was. It was tough. I've been in business now 26 years, and I can't remember the days before LinkedIn. But no, I think it's still they both go hand in hand. So, but the thing is with resume and a CV and your LinkedIn, don't replicate 100%. LinkedIn allows you, it's pageless. It goes on and on and on. You can scroll down and scroll down. It's built around a number of characters per section on LinkedIn. So the About Us section you need to fill in. That's 2,600 characters. And then the headline beneath your name is 220. But they're always tinkering around with it. They're always adding more. I've got a table somewhere I can share with people. So you need to now use LinkedIn as another tool for research. Alan, I believe you're in sales, so you probably use it to go and source leads. Now, if you are in career transition, you can use it to go and source leads for your career. Because it doesn't matter where you are in the world, only a small percentile of jobs are advertised. Here in Canada, where we are, Alan, it's 8%. That includes all the job boards, all the adverts in the national and regional and local newspapers, and all the corporate websites. 12% are executive recruiters, and then 80% is networking. Networking is going to bring you huge value. Okay, so we got a LinkedIn user here. To achieve a significant sector transition, should you look at a few incremental moves post-MBA versus chasing a single big move opportunity? Now, that is a great question. That is a very, very loaded question. By the way, I notice you're a LinkedIn user. You're a bit anonymous. If you were really serious, this is my professional opinion here, take it for what it is. If you were really serious about career transition and career management, you wouldn't come on as a LinkedIn user. You would come on in your name, because you never know who else is on this platform or who else is on this live streaming that might be able to influence your career. Whereas right now, I don't even know where you are, who you are, or whatever. But let's get back to the question. Sorry, I just had to jump in there because I believe you should be above board. The further you come above water, the more opportunities will come your way. To achieve a significant sector transition, I would take, you can do a huge leap, like from sales to finance, but I would take little baby steps and do it over a number of years. And then, but continue. The whole crux of good career management is building your network, and not just building it, but retaining it. They don't, executive recruiters, for instance, you need to build relationships with executive recruiters before and definitely after you leave your EMBA program. They can manage your career for the rest of your life, but you don't just build a relationship and then you land another job and you forget about them for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and then suddenly you need their help. The trick is you need to maintain those relationships. So every 5 or 6 months, even when you're gainfully employed and you're having great fun, you need to say, "Hi, Joe, I am still working at ABC company. However, I'm always wanting to manage my career. Let's stay in touch," or something like that. So a LinkedIn user, you need to, you can do it. You can do it, but I would suggest you do baby steps and move over to where you want to go. Just give me an example where you want to go in your next question. So let's go to the next one. Should we put an EMBA and our names or leave it as a standard MBA? So that's a great question. So you can't have the acronym EMBA after your name right now. It's a reasonably, compared to a lot of other degrees, it's a reasonably new degree, and there's a lot of chatter within the business school and the designation authorities world about an EMBA. Should it be called an MBA? Should it be called an EMBA? So what I do, I highlight in my clients' CVs or their resumes, MBA underneath their name. By the way, never in a resume or a CV, never put the acronyms for your degrees right next to your name on the same line, because the scanning machinery, the ATS, the applicant tracking system, it's a computer, will think your name is MBA, MEng, PEng, or whatever. So don't put your degrees in right next to your name. You put it underneath. So I do in an EMBA resume, and I write lots. I write several each week. I would put your MBA underneath, and then with your other designations, and then underneath the sales pitch, the soft skills and the hard skills, you put a new section. You call it academic value add, academic differentiator, and you put the school first, and then in bold capitals you spell it all out: Executive Master of Business Administration, bold capitals, space, EMBA, take the bold off, and in the right margin, you put the date. So why do I do that? So imagine your resume is in some ATS scanning application with an executive recruiter or a corporate or an NGO or anywhere else. If they're typing in to search for MBAs, your resume will come out. If they type in the full verbiage of Executive Master of Business Administration, your resume will come out. If they type in EMBA, your resume will come out. I am engaged by my clients to get them the maximum exposure, the maximum impact, and that's the way it works. And they do. Some of them get it even in today's so-called COVID recession. They get themselves into multiple offers and in all functions. So hopefully that answers it. Underneath your name, you have the standard MBA, and then down in the body, under academic value add or academic differentiator, you have Executive Master of Business Administration, space EMBA in bold capitals. Hopefully that answers your question. So Sam from now I know he's from HEC. Hi, Sammy. How are you? Okay, so thank you. Hello, everybody from McGill, HEC. Welcome. Haro, great advice. Thanks, Haro. Yeah, and you're from the Triumph program. So the Triumph program is 3 universities: London School of Economics, HEC in Paris, and NYU in Stern. So we go to his question. So that's a great question. That is a wonderful question. Thanks for asking. So what is your view on bios versus a resume for a senior role? Okay, that's a good question. I would have both. Okay, now a bio doesn't really sell you as much. It depends. There's corporate bios and there's personal bios. So a personal bio has, you know, your marital, your whether you've got kids, your hobbies, and whatever. And then in a traditional resume CV, you never ever put that. Okay, but in a corporate bio, you can to a certain degree. But a bio is more for their web, for you to hand to a future client if you're selling your product or your service or whatever. And it's also for them to put on their website to show the leadership team, etc. Bios really don't get you the traction that you want. You want to get the maximum traction, and everybody today is looking for a resume or a CV, depending on where you are in the world. Hopefully that that answers your question. So yes, so the next one is David. Do you do a LinkedIn service for your clients? Yes, I have a LinkedIn, a certified LinkedIn profile writer on my staff. She writes the most amazing LinkedIn profiles. But I'm also more than happy to anybody who's online today to offer a no obligation free LinkedIn audit. I go through it from top to bottom because there are some atrocious, like diabolical LinkedIn profiles out there. And, you know, right now, people, there are executive recruiters on Saturdays sitting in their home office looking for talent for their projects they're going to start interviewing for next week. So if you don't have a fully complete LinkedIn profile, the more you put on there, the more Google's going to pick it up, the more you will be found by career decision makers. You know, if you don't have a full LinkedIn profile, basically a skeleton, you are going to decrease the opportunities of being found. It's pageless. You can go down and down and down and down. So yes, I do offer a LinkedIn service for your clients. So shoot me a message after and say, would you? I'd like a free LinkedIn audit, and I'm more than happy to go through that. And then if you decided to have a full profile, that's some homework and partnership with my assistant. Okay, so hi Ali. Thanks for coming. 2019, great school, a wonderful business school. I work a lot with London graduates from London Business School. There are 3 different programs. Okay, so this is a good one to Eric. Okay, so let me read it out. If only 8% of jobs are advertised, that's what I'm saying here in Canada. I'm not too sure which country you're in, but here in Canada, I know if you tell me which country you're in, I'll give you the rough percentile. No, they're not just advertised on LinkedIn. So you're talking about Monster, Workopolis, Career Builder, Glassdoor, Aluta. There's a few others. How important is it to worry about ATS? Oh, it's very, very important. So you never know. If you are networking and you got a lead, you generate a lead at some senior, maybe your boss or your boss's boss at your target company. So they ask for your resume, your CV. They then read it over and think, yeah, that's a good candidate. And what? Oh, USA. So in the USA, it's 19%, so just a little bit over double. Then they ask for. So then what they do is they go invariably, they go and hand it to their HR, who then put it through their ATS, and then you may be lost. So be prepared. The Boy Scouts motto: be prepared for having ATS. But the trick is with a resume or a CV, it's you're documenting your career history all the way back, but it's performance driven. It's not responsibilities, it's performance driven. Wouldn't my time be better spent on figuring out networking end of things? Yes, you need to network. If you're in career transition, let me give you what I, as a professional, because I hold some certifications in job search. By the way, a job search is a full-time gig if you are in career transition. And there's been a couple of people here from who I know have been in career transition just most recently. It's a full-time gig. So I tell my clients, treat it as a full-time gig, minimum of 8 hours. It's like anything. The more you put into it, the more opportunities are going to come your way. So I would suggest if you can do 12 hours, you can do 12 hours. Of that, you should use social media to network. Seems the network and hidden job market is a real problem to solve. Yeah, the hidden job market is a tough barrier. But what you need to do, here's some tips, just some basic tips, Eric. You might have some companies you want to go and work for. You hold them in high esteem. They may be going up. They're emerging from startup to getting a bigger and bigger and bigger. They may be going IPO. Some companies are going IPO during this recession, but they will be when more and more will be coming when we go out of this recession. And so you want to take advantage of the packages that come with the going IPO. And then you also want to you need to target. You must have some products or services that you've seen those companies. So you need to target those companies. You want to go and work for XYZ company or ABC company or DER company or IBM or Dell or the Accenture or EY or whatever. So you need to find the decision maker who would be your boss or your boss's boss at that particular company, and then try and connect with them. Not everybody wants to network, sadly. My philosophy here is those people who don't network with you now while you're in career transition and you're trying to use their influence and their network, hopefully those people in the near future will be out of work and in the same position as you, and then they will see the benefits of networking. Networking is huge. So you need to really concentrate on networking, but just not just when you're in career transition. You need to network when you're gainfully employed. Because my philosophy, and this is going to really probably stun quite a few of you, the day you land your job is the day to start your next job search. Your employer is not in charge of your career. Who's in charge of your career? You are in charge of your career. So make sure you manage your career. So Catherine from Ivy Business School. I worked with Catherine, oh my gosh, 12 or 13 years ago. So a long time ago. She's an EMBA from Ivy Business School in London, Ontario. How can you differentiate your academic degrees, post-degree certificates on LinkedIn? Every time I update my profile with a certificate, it appears in the list with my academic degrees. I don't like the mashup. Am I missing something? Yes, you are. So Catherine, there is a button. You can reprioritize. You can drag and drop. You can reprioritize your degrees and your certifications and designations or whatever you've got. And I know you are a proponent of continuing education. So yeah, you can reprioritize by dragging and dropping them. So yeah, that's the way around LinkedIn. Hopefully that helps. So where are we now? Ali. Hi, Ali. Hi, Martin. Pleasure to be here. Very valuable advice. Can you share your views on what the key do's and don'ts relating to LinkedIn profile write-up? Wow. I could be here till breakfast tomorrow morning. But so the key, let me give you my 4 tips on LinkedIn. You need to have a picture. If you don't have a picture, I instantly, well, what is this person? Why isn't this person, showing me their portrait picture? But have a professional picture. I'm not interested in you having a picture with your kids, with your spouse, with your fishing trophy, a trout or something dangling in your arm or whatever. I'm interested in a professional picture. So you also need to have a professional picture because Google, in its algorithm visits to your LinkedIn profile, remember algorithms, Google algorithms go over the internet all the time, 24/7, 365, and they go over your LinkedIn profile. As soon as you have a picture on LinkedIn, you get a 14% uplift in LinkedIn profile visits. Then number 2, you need to go and customize your LinkedIn address. So if you've got numbers and letters after your name, that tells me that you haven't customized it. It's the default they gave you when you signed up. So you need to go and take those numbers and letters out after your name. It takes you 2 minutes for free. So you need to go and take those numbers out, and you can then Google again will give you another 400% uplift in visits to your LinkedIn profile. Now you have an unusual name, so I'm sure your name is, if you haven't customized it, is available. But you need to go and do that, and then you need to fill out your LinkedIn profile. Have all the buzzwords. You're entitled to have 50 hard skills. So these are the buzzwords that a recruiter or an HR professional looking for talent, like you, right this minute, even on a Saturday, somewhere in the world, will type in to look for talent. So if you're a sales guy, you need to have, whether it's B2B, B2C, B2G, B2E, sales planning and forecasting, account management, territory management, RFP, RFQ, RFI, the contract negotiations. The list goes on and on and on. So you're entitled to have 50. Fill those right out. On a resume, you can only have a maximum of 21. So, and then also have recommendations. There's a rule of thumb, about 5 recommendations per position, per the most recent position. So the last 3 positions, say about 15 recommendations. 1 from your boss, preferably. I know that's tough. 1 from a peer, somebody lateral to you. 1 from an employee. 1 from a customer/client. And then the next one, the final one, is a vendor or supplier. Try and have all those. It's like anything. The more you fill it out, the better it's going to be for you. And if anybody wants me to run a LinkedIn class, I'm more than happy to do that. But I'm more than happy to give you a free, no obligation LinkedIn audit at the end of this, sometime in the next few days. I'll go through it from top to bottom because it's a very valuable tool. Those people I know, they tell me all the time, who've had their optimize their LinkedIn profile, whether they've had it professionally written or whether they've done it themselves, instantly get more traffic from career decision makers to their LinkedIn profile. Okay, so sorry, I'm getting so many questions here. Let me just see if I can go back up to Sammy's question. Okay, skip my question, Martin. How important? Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Some great questions here. Thanks for attending. I'm going to have another one. So share this with your your peers in your class, in your cohort that you graduated with last year, or the year before, or many years ago. Skip my question, Martin. Sorry. There's so many questions coming in, so bear with me. But I'll be here until we've exhausted all those questions. Okay, so I'm more than happy to answer any questions. How important a video intro or resume would it be for an executive position? Okay, I was asked to do that for several CX. Yeah, so the world is shifting to videos. So YouTube, I would suggest that each and every one of you, because you've all got a good story to tell, you are all selling yourself. And videos is the way to go. Now, I know it's tough to appear in front of one camera, one lens. Sometimes we stutter and we get nervous. And I used to get more nervous getting in front of one video, one camera, one lens than I did speaking to 1,500 people. But I've conquered that. But you need to conquer that. And you have a message. You have a very good message. I know you, Sammy. You've got a very good message. So create a video, a YouTube channel. It's free. And then create some videos. I know you've just completed a project with SNCF, I think, in Paris, France. So, talk about that project. Talk about the challenges and whatever. And then you can put a link to that YouTube channel on your resume, on your CV. Yeah, so video is becoming far more important. You can actually now put videos on your LinkedIn profile as well. So I would suggest you put LinkedIn, because if I was interested in you, I'd like to see you perform, like to see you talk about some story, some project, some accomplishment, some job, or even your EMBA at HSC in Paris. Okay, so Ali, again, Ali, where are we? Oh my gosh, we got some good ones here. Pleasure to be here. Very valuable advice. Can you share your views on what? Oh, we did that one. Sorry, Ali. Okay, LinkedIn user. Martin, are employers hesitant to hire EMBA candidates in progress? Oh, that's a good one. Would they rather wait until they've had? Yes and no. There's no defined answer to that. If you put on a good business case why they should hire you right this minute, but then that's okay. But you need to be open and honest that you are in the middle, or a third of the way, or 2/3 of the way through an EMBA, because it's a very, very, I don't know how you guys do it, but anyway, it's a very cumbersome and demanding degree. I applaud you all the time. That's why I love working in this niche, because I want to help you get your ROI back. So they are hesitant. Yeah, some of them are. Some of them will see, oh no, he's learning. We'll give him some time off. We'll give him some leeway, but then they'll work you to the bone. When you've graduated. So yes and no. I can't. There's no defined answer to that. But be clear. If you are a current candidate, you need, on your resume, you need to put class of 2022, graduate in September 2022 or whatever. Never put you graduated, because they'll find that out, and that's even more of a hindrance. Okay, so let's go down here. We're getting some really good questions. Many thanks for sharing. You're welcome, Kevin. Sammy, skip my question. This is a good one. Let me read this one. Okay, so Corel, what advice do you have for someone who wants to enroll in an EMBA now during lockdowns, when in-person classes may not be available? How much weightage do you believe should be given to in-person networking learning during the program versus academic part of the course online? Depending on the country, there are EMBA programs already starting to open up. They shut down. I think in fact, I don't know of one that didn't shut down almost totally. But now they are starting to open up, and they're starting to schedule. But you know what? The world changes every minute right now, every hour, every day. So I would. This is my professional opinion. I would part of you going to an EMBA program, and those people who are on here who have graduated will probably support me this. Part of the going to the EMBA program is networking in person. Can you remember when you actually did stuff in person? You actually shook their hands. I can't even remember the last time I shook somebody's hands. But anyway, so yeah, I would tend to wait until this COVID situation has died down. Hopefully it will, and then apply to a business school. But there's no harm in you applying for programs that are in 2022 anyway. Now, you need to do due diligence in the programs. There are lots and lots of programs out there meeting different criteria, definitely different budgets, different geographies, different subjects, but it's an awesome, awesome degree. I applaud every one of you who's gone through that degree. You have an outstanding track record. What is that going to tell me when you graduate? It's going to tell me that you are persistent, you are determined, you are driven, you are ambitious. A lot of soft skills on top of the hard skills that you've learned. So, Corel, coming back to your question, if I was to counsel, coach you, I would say, wait. I don't know what country you're in. If you're in the UK, then they are now starting to open up. But if you're here in Canada, North America, they are still somewhat locked down. Although, they want to spring it, they want to get, but they're being very careful because of social distancing and all the other protocol that goes with that. Okay, so Catherine, I found the in-person component invaluable. So there you go. There's somebody who graduated out of the Ivy School quite some time ago, and yeah, it's very, very important. I've taught on programs across the world, and I see the way you develop relationships, and those relationships are with people for life. So some business schools fly me out to teach at their programs and teach career management on their programs, and I see the cohesion, the collaboration, and they share. It's not just during your classes; it's during meal times, and they have some relaxation time. So you talk about other stuff off the EMBA program, and you never know. So yeah, you're right, Catherine. Thanks for jumping in there. Okay, so LinkedIn user again, reposting the question. You stated multiple times that you admire EMBA graduates and that companies seek for EMBAs. Can you qualify this? Why this is so? What are the reasons for a company to hire an EMBA versus an MBA, for example, in INSEAD? Okay, so that's a great question. Okay, so let me have a. This is ginger ale, by the way, not beer. Anyway, so yeah, an EMBA is a different degree to an MBA, okay? And you have to, the criteria for getting into the admissions, just to the admissions gate, is totally different. So you're not just a new graduate from an MBA, from an undergrad. You have to have quite some time in corporate world. So that tells them a lot about you. An EMBA, and most MBAs, there are some part-time MBAs now, but forget about the online, I know, because the world has changed, but there are an EMBA, you have to do your modules, and it depends on the university, the school, how often you attend. Sometimes it's a weekend every 2 or 3, 4 weeks. Sometimes it's a block module, like 2 weeks every 4 to 5 months or whatever. They all vary. But what does that tell an employer? That you've taken, plus then during those intervening periods, while you're working full time, hopefully, you are doing projects. You are on Zoom. You are doing this. You're doing that. You're networking with, or doing a project with somebody the other side of the world, or across the ocean, or whatever. So that is a hard degree. So think of it as a very, very high profile, prestigious degree. There's nothing wrong in an MBA. An MBA is really good, but an EMBA plus they're more expensive, and you want to get the ROI back on those. So yeah. So hopefully that's helped you. Jose, HEC did not shut down. Okay, so personally, I've managed to have almost all classes on site. Wow. So yeah, I heard that HEC didn't, complemented by some additional online. Well, that's good. I like that. So Jose, did you network? Did you like that I mean, it's an amazing program. I watched it come up in the rankings over many, many years, and now it's a very, very highly regarded program. But that's interesting. They did not shut down. Totally, that's good. We are reopening. So yeah, I confirm that Europe, we are reopening face-to-face courses. So that's good. That's excellent, because we need to be. It's part of why you go to the university, why you go to that program. Dear Martin, I am working many years ago, many years as a CFO in the Middle East region, but I feel interested in moving towards managing director. Okay, that's good. How would you advise me to do such a transition if current company does not give me the chances? Whoa, that's a loaded question. I can keep you busy for hours and hours and hours, but it is feasible. So the two things you need, you obviously have the mindset because you're thinking about it now, which is great. So that's half the battle. So you now need to have your dynamic CV. You need to make it highly competitive. You need to make it ATS friendly. So what is ATS? I did talk about it very briefly earlier on. Applicant tracking system. So you need to have it performance driven, applicant tracking system friendly. And then you need to have a dynamic, fully complete, top to bottom. So if I scroll all the way down, it's pageless. Whereas a resume CV is a maximum of 3 pages. Never go more than 3 pages. Never ever go more than 3 pages. So you have you can transition, but you need to have a dynamic LinkedIn, fully complete, and then you need to have a dynamic CV. And then what I would suggest you do is you target market. Now, I don't know whether you were here earlier on in the broadcast, but target marketing is going to be your best bet, especially if you're shifting from being a traditional CFO into more of a managing director. There's different skill sets, but you also need to find out which, I don't know whether it's which geography yours. Are you still looking in the Middle East, UAE or KSA or Qatar or whatever? I mean, I have many clients in the Middle East. Or are you moving elsewhere in the world? If you're moving career, you try and stay within your own geography. But if you are staying in your own function, then you can move geography. It's almost impossible to do 2 moves in one. Move geography and change your career. So how would you advise me to do such a transition if current company doesn't give me the chances? I would get your resume, your CV up to scratch. I would get your LinkedIn profile up to scratch, and then do some brainstorming. Who are the companies I've always wanted to work for? Why? They got good product. They've got a good a service offering. They've got they may be going IPO. There may be some growth. Something that you gets you pretty excited, and start networking with key influencers, not HR, but key influencers at those particular companies, because they can maybe open a door for you. But the trick is here, is a good little trick. If you want to go work for ABC company, you don't just network with the current employees. You network with employees who've just left in the last, not really more than 6 or 8 months. But those people who've left in the last 6 or 8 months, they can tell you all the dirt in that particular company, what's going on. So that you need to think about networking with people who've recently left. And if you go through ABC company on LinkedIn, you can find the people who've recently left, because they're not going to erase that. They still come up underneath that company. So it's going to be fearless use, endless use of LinkedIn. So I hope that's answered your question. Now we're moving on to Alan again. Is there an ideal time commitment made to a position before moving to the next challenge? I've often thought at least 3 years was the best, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. Okay. My father, I'll go back to my father. He's no longer with us, sadly, but it was in his day and age, it was perfectly acceptable to be in one job, one career, one company from the day you graduate through to the day you retire. Today, that is not the case. You need to move around. There's no particular rule of thumb, but my professional expertise is you need to move around every 3 to 4 years. Once you get beyond about 6 or 7, it's personal interpretation here. You tend to pigeonhole yourself in a particular company. So, and it can be a little bit more difficult for you to move out, definitely if you've been more than 10 years. Now, loyalty to me in my personal life is very important, but in your career life, you're not really loyal to your employer. They don't manage your career. You manage your career. Because tomorrow, next week, next month, they could lay you off. So you need to manage your career. So I would say, Alan, coming back to that question, I would say, and I've watched you, I think you were at Martell and then you've moved somewhere else. I can't remember now, but I would say every 3 to 4 years, look around for your next opportunity. I call it your next challenge. Every job is a challenge. So is there an ideal time commitment to a position before moving to the next challenge? I would say 3 to 4 years, and that's healthy. But don't move every 18 months, every year, 18 months, 2 years. That raises the red flags in people's minds. Unfortunately, some people, because of economics or because of companies closing down or being acquired or whatever, they do have that bad rap of maybe 3 or 4 consecutive, very short-term tenures. And there may be some really honest, open reasons for that, but you cannot. It's tough because you, on a piece of paper and on a LinkedIn, you can't address why you can talk about company acquired or company went bankrupt or whatever on your resume and your LinkedIn. But yeah, keep your tenure. I would say 3 to 4 years. Hopefully that helps you. Okay, so I will contact you for more. I'd be happy to have you. Be happy to have a no obligation conversation and talk about how I can help you. I'm really passionate about helping executive MBAs. So Pooja, my gosh, we've known each other for many years. Okay, so she's a graduate of the Rotman School here in Toronto. Dear Martin, what are my prospects to transition from project management to senior leadership role in the healthcare industry? Oh, that's a great question. Okay. Sadly, because of COVID, the healthcare sector globally, not just here in Canada, North America, or whatever, has really come to the forefront. Governments are going to put, doesn't matter where you are, governments are going to put a lot more money into healthcare. Not only is the population aging, but we've seen how vulnerable, how fragile sometimes our healthcare system has been. We've almost seen it break in several countries. And still, in certain countries, it's very, very fragile. So I see, and all the executive recruiters in the healthcare and the other people I network with all the time tell me that healthcare is really going to come to the forefront. So anybody in healthcare, medical devices, life sciences, pharmaceutical, That's probably it. In that sector is made for life, but you still need to manage your career. So Pooja, I would say, yeah, get you got a resume. We can have another conversation. You can get a senior leadership role. You're a project manager now, so I would say, from what I remember of your resume, you will probably go to a senior manager first, and then a director, and then VP, and then you can go on from there. Now, there are some certifications within the healthcare industry. There is CHE, so a certified, I think it's certified healthcare executive. I think that may be a few levels above you, but look into that. It's all niche marketing. It's all target niche marketing. So if you want to stay in the healthcare industry, you take designations. Now you've got your EMBA. Take designations within that industry and continuing education. While we're on that topic, if you graduated from your EMBA in 2010, that's a long time ago. That's 11 years ago. You need to take some more recent education. That is a red flag. In a decision maker's mind, that is a red flag. So hopefully that answers your question. How LinkedIn user, Martin, how appropriate is it to send a LinkedIn invite to an influencer in a company without a note accompanying? Oh, no, never, ever. Never, ever do that. It's a personalized platform. I never, ever, I have created in Word about 10 different types of introductions, and I cut and paste, and then I always customize that. So customize the name, Dear Joe, Dear Mary, and then give them a compelling reason why they should connect with you. It's give and take as well. It's not what just you want, it's what they want. So the value you can add. I know you only get, I think it's 350 or 380 characters, and that's soon used up. But always personal. So I get on average people wanting to connect with me because I have a huge LinkedIn profile, 50 to 60 a day, of which I'm going to say 40 of those don't have messages. Sadly, they're gone. They're gone out because they don't send me a message. I always send a message. I spend a lot of time. It's a very, very personal. You're building a relationship, a two-way relationship. So always send personalized LinkedIn invites. Hopefully that helps you. Sammy again, good. Sammy, what do you think of career of transition management as it's picking up in France, for instance? It's viewed like a senior consulting service or real executive opportunity for consultants. Well, that's an open-ended term. Transition management in here in North America has a different term to probably what it is in Europe. If you're talking about transition management, is it turning around companies? I'm not quite sure of that question. Perhaps you can clarify that question a little bit. But we've seen a brutal economy in the last 16, 17 months, and a lot of companies are requiring people who are into change management, continuous or process improvement, business transformation, definitely digital transformation. That's a buzzword. So perhaps you can just let me have a little bit more of the detail of your question there. So anybody got any other? Oh, here's one from Photius. Okay, what would be the most important things to do the first 6 months after EMBA graduation? Well, I would say you've taken time off from your family, your hobbies. So I would say take time to integrate back into your family unit. Say hi to your spouse. Say hi to your kids. Cuddle them. or hug them. I don't know what, or whatever you can do today in today's economy, in whatever. But show them you care. You've taken time out from that, and they've been very generous with you for giving you that time and the money to take that degree. Now it's time for you to give back to the family unit. That's my professional opinion. And then after 6 months, I would suggest that you take that degree on the road, on the highway, and you use that degree. You look around for other companies to work for where you can use that skill set that you learned, the broadened skill set, in and bring value to a future employer. It's value. What value can you bring me? So you need to compel me when you go on a job search. What is the value you can bring me? Hopefully that's answered your question. Let me just see here. Alan. Okay, we got okay, so anybody got any other questions? I'm more than happy to answer. I'll be here as long as you've got those questions coming. Just trying to see if I can screw. Oh, here's one here. Oh no, we've got to answer that one. Forgive me as we go through these. So anybody got any other questions? Lorenzo. Don't think we answered Lorenzo. Hi, Lorenzo. Sorry, I missed you. There were so many coming in, but forgive me. So thanks for the opportunity. What's the timeline to change career after an EMBA? I graduated December 2020 from the University of Geneva. Okay, great school. Various opinions there. There is an opinion within the executive recruiting community generally. There are exceptions to the rule. I'm just speaking generally here. That the life of an EMBA is about 8 years when it has that really maximum impact. Don't get me wrong, it's never going to die because it's a brutal degree. It's an amazing degree. I don't know how you do it, but 8 years and then it starts to wane off, but you've got a long way to go. And you can get the ROI back on that. I've got, I don't know how much it costs in euros or your Swiss francs, your degree, but you can get your ROI back pretty fast. I've got clients from the really expensive programs, the 200,000 plus USD programs, and got their money back in between 31 and 36 months. All that 200,000. Let me just see if anybody's got any other questions. David Warne. Okay, let me scroll down to the bottom here. Lorenzo, no worries. Okay, so Lorenzo again. Oh yeah, that's the one you just asked me. Here's a good one. I moved geography within a large multinational from North America to Europe, from sales management into strategic marketing. Do you have any advice how to best leverage the EMBA internally, especially with a new leadership? Okay, so I moved geography within a large multinational from sales management into strategic marketing. Okay, we come back to the word networking. You now need to go and network. I know it's tough. I don't know where you are in Europe, whether it's opened up yet, whether you can actually network in person. I know you can, just starting to in the UK. No, I'm not too sure which country in Europe you're in, but start educating them on the benefits of that EMBA. They've obviously hired you anyway, and they most likely saw that EMBA on your resume, your CV. So I would now start networking and marketing yourself to selling that EMBA and telling them what a great program it is. And these are the things I learned, and these are the things I can bring you as the leaders in my team, in my company. These are what I can bring. And so that's always sell that EMBA. Always sell that EMBA. So Sebastian, okay, Sebastian, mining. Okay, so I'm also was an expert in EMBAs. I'm also a global expert in the mining sector from top to bottom, and mining is hot. Recruitment across the world, any function, is really, really hot right now. I got many mining clients who are in multiple offer situations, even at the C-suite. So yeah, so if you are an EMBA and you are in mining, Sebastian, you are made. But you need to sell that. You need to have a mining CV, mining resume is a different document to a traditional corporate. So you have to have the mineral you mined and the amount of mineral you mined, whether it's gold, which is in ounces, or whether it's coal or potassium, which is in tons, diamonds in carats, blah blah blah. So you need to, and it's a complicated resume, but I'm more than happy, Sebastian, to give you a free, no obligation resume CV critique. So yeah, the job market in mining is hot, very, very hot. I'm not too sure exactly what you do in mining, but it doesn't matter. I know there are many jobs waiting for you in any geography that mining operates right now. Okay, so this is a good one here. So Pooja, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of doing another master's certificate in innovation from Schulich Education Center. What are your thoughts on that? Okay, so I do know that program. Anything to do with the words innovation, AI, machine learning, blockchain. There are a couple of others which slipped my mind. I can't remember, but is hot right now. So if you could, and also employers and other influencers are looking for you to have, are looking for you to have continuing education. So the more education, don't be a continuous student though, or don't take time off to become a continuous live-in student. But yeah, if you're going to take it, I know that's not an onerous task compared to the EMBA. So that would fit well within your suite of your EMBA. I can't remember your undergrad, but then you have that. You will have Rotman, you will have Schulich on your resume as well, two great schools here in Canada, and you are in healthcare. So you are there again, Pooja, you are made. So there's some really good questions here. Sebastian, yeah, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help any one of you. Now let me see if we've done this. I'm not into the. Oh yes, we've completed that one. So I have. Yep, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy. I'm going to put my email here in the comments. And ask any questions. If you got any questions, I'm going to run this again. Be honest, did you gain some good information from this hour? And would you be prepared to spread it to your classmates at your EMBA? And if I run another one, I'm more than happy to do them because I want to help you. You've spent a lot of money, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of time investment in going into those programs. And I want to help you advance your career. So if I can help you and I can help all your classmates advance their career, that will make me happy. So we got some other questions here. Thank you, Martin. It's awesome to learn from your perspective on various topics here. Appreciate your guidance and time hosting the session. Look forward to connect with you on LinkedIn. Yeah, please send me an invite, but make sure it's customized and tell me that you were on this seminar. Okay. Um, being okay, so this number. Being an entrepreneur all my life, having set up multiple companies and never worked for an MNC. What were your chances to embark on a typical career within an MNC? Okay, that's another great question. So an EMBA, so as I said earlier, opens up so many new opportunities that probably weren't available to you before that degree. So I would say yes, you can, but don't expect to get into. And I admire people's ambition. I admire their drive, and that's what I promote as a coach. But sometimes their their ambition and their drive is too high for where they want to go. They maybe have to temper it and slow it down. So you you can transition from an entrepreneur into the corporate life, but you have to take a little bit of a hit. You can't be the C-suite. You can't be probably the vice president level, depending on the size of the company. But you can use that degree, and you can go into from an entrepreneur into corporate, and vice versa, of course. So that's the way of the world. That's the way it really does. You can do it. An EMBA opens up so many new opportunities to everybody. It's sad. It's sad that so many people go through that course and they're absolutely whacked at the other end. And the ambition, the drive they had when they complete before they started the course is lost because they need to re-engage and they need to reprocess. And it's tough. So many people stay where they are for years after their EMBA, whereas they took that degree and they spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but they stay there. So hopefully you all got something. Yes, the recording, Pooja, will be on my YouTube channel. It's being recorded now, so once I press the button, it will be definitely available file to share. And I'm more than happy if any of you want me to do a special just to your classmates and the alumni. I'm more than happy to do that. We can have another Q&A, or we can go through a PowerPoint presentation on how to manage and advance your career now you have an EMBA, or anything. So I'm more than happy to work with your alumni, your classmates, your buddy from your cohort. Or would you be willing, would you be willing to have another one and listen in and spread the news about another one if I hold it in, say, 6 or 8 weeks' time? I'll be happy to have another EMBA Saturday. I'm really thrilled that so many people took their time, their valuable time, to come into my presentation today. So anybody got any other questions? Arita, where are you from? I'd like to know where. Well, I'd just like to know as we wrap this up, where is everybody from? So the schools and their geographic locations. And come, feel free. I'm be here if you got. If we go for another hour, I'm go for another hour. Anybody got any other questions? Didn't I answer anybody's question? I'm not too sure. There were so many coming in at that particular time. Let me just see here. Reposting the question you stated multiple times. Yeah, we've done that one. No, I think we've covered most of those questions. If I haven't, just shout, McGill. Yeah, there's some people from Asia, from the Middle East. So INSEAD EMBA, wow, that's a tough degree. So that's a really good one. ESSEC Mannheim EMBA. Well, with a lot of your with a lot of your classmates from both from INSEAD and ESSEC EMBA. In fact, after 2045 EMBA clients, there aren't too many business schools I haven't worked with. So, but every EMBA is an amazing degree. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears go into that, and it's tough. It's a tough degree. I applaud you because I personally could not go through that, but I'm here to help you advance, manage your career. Now you have your EMBA, Executive Master of Business Administration. Here's another tip. When you get into a networking opportunity, whether it be Zoom, Teams, WebEx, or any other virtual online platform, or, dare I say it, an in-person meeting, always express that you have an executive MBA. Don't be frightened of putting the emphasis, the verbal emphasis on the word executive MBA, because it's different to an MBA. So don't just say, I've got an MBA and shut it off. You've got an executive MBA. Be proud of that degree because it's a totally different degree, and it's a hard degree. So anybody got any other questions? I did say it at the beginning. I know this is a bit provoking, but LinkedIn user, I can't see your name here. So if you were interacting with an executive recruiter or whatever, they would. They prefer to see your name. I prefer to see your name. Oh, hi, Martin, Arida. I'll be very happy to organize with you a session with I'd love to do that. Alumni session. I will contact you. Yeah, so anybody else, I'm more than happy to do, just like I've done today. You are in the driving seat. I'm just the facilitator sharing my vast knowledge of executive career management and passion and commitment to helping executive Master of Business Administration drive their ambition and their career goals and get their ROI back on that degree, because some of them are 200,000 plus USD. That's a lot of money. So, Ed Shearer. Not sure why my name isn't. Oh, okay. So sorry, Ed. Yeah, so let me know if I can help you. I'm more than happy to help any one of you that's been online today. Share this, and then I'd be happy to facilitate another one and talk about how to manage your career to all your classmates, anybody else who's got an EMBA who missed this session today. So hopefully you've all got something, just one snippet from the seminar today. I've been happy. It's been exciting for me to share my knowledge. Just bearing in mind, just let's wrap it up. I'm more than happy to give any one of you and any one of your classmates a free, no obligation, no sales pitch, resume or CV critique. And then I'm also happy to give them a free, no obligation LinkedIn audit. So I go through it from top to bottom, because you only get, with both those things, your resume, your CV, and your LinkedIn, you only get one chance to make that impression. First impressions count. Please also go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also press the bell button where you will be notified of lots of videos that are forthcoming. There is a particular section on my YouTube channel that relates to EMBAs. So so I'd be happy to help you for you to share that YouTube channel. I'd love you to share that YouTube channel. There's lots and lots of stuff that can bring you huge value in your to your career. And also every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, so 2 p.m., 7 p.m. British time, 8 p.m. European time, 10 a.m. 11 a.m. Pacific time. I have Tuesday at 2. Tuesday at 2, and I have a different topic each week. And next week it's who manages your career. So there's a good topic. So Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, I come live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And I come live and I talk about a different topic each week. And then also I have a free ebook as well. Ebooks available on my website, aneliteresume.com. And then I also have a dedicated website for the EMBA. So EMBA careercoach.net. EMBA careercoach.net. So, man, I can keep you busy here. I can talk about this till breakfast tomorrow morning. If anybody's got one more question, I'm more than happy to answer that question. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up, and hopefully, excuse me, I will facilitate another one of these because I want you to take advantage of my 26 years experience in executive career management, and I'd be happy to provide your alumni, your class, any just a particular session just for your class. So with that, I don't think we got any more questions. So have a great week. Hopefully you've learned something from this. Hopefully you're going to take away some little nugget that's going to advance your career and see you through. Hopefully we are going to hit good times over the tough times we've gone through due to the COVID situation. I see good light at the other end of the tunnel, but the good light for you and for everybody is that you have a very, very highly regarded, a prestigious degree, an executive master of business administration. Congratulations. That's all I can say. It's a tough degree. As I said earlier on, I could not take that degree. I would find it very tough. And that's why I want to help you, because you need experts like me to help you to exit the program and move on. Anybody got any other questions before we wrap it up? You're welcome, Raphael. So it's good to have people from, I think we got people from North America, South America. I know we got people from Europe, the UK, definitely the Middle East, and Asia, where it's approaching midnight. So yeah, thanks very much for being online with me today. I hopefully you've got something, just one nugget, or maybe two nuggets, or preferably three nuggets that you can now use for your, your career management. Have a great week. Remember, career management is managing your career 24/7, 365, not just when you're in career transition and caught off guard. Always have your CV and resume up to date. Always have your LinkedIn profile up to date, and always update things. Thank you. I would, come to my Tuesdays at 2. Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern every week. Next week, as I say, is who manages your career, and then the following Tuesday is how to rapidly build a network from scratch. And then I've got them scheduled throughout the end of the year. So I'll be happy to have you on my Tuesdays at 2. Have a great week. Thanks for attending. It's been a pleasure to share my knowledge with you. Do you know how? One more question here. Let me just hang on. Good. Do you know how we do it? I am listening to you while reading a book on negotiations and answering to my kids' questions. I know how you do it. It's a brutal degree. Yeah, you don't need to tell me it's a brutal degree. You've got family stuff going on, and yeah, it's. I know it's a tough degree. That's why I'm in full admiration for you. I've never seen any. I've had actually EMBA when I used to coach in person because I traveled to London or did travel to London a lot, and I was in Paris quite a bit. I've had EMBA clients cry because they're so overjoyed at ending that program, and now they want to activate that ambition, and they want to get on. So yeah, I know our brutal degree. I hear it all the time during my coaching session, my endless coaching sessions. I probably do 6 to 8 hours every week on coaching, just specifically for EMBAs. So I have my EMBA Career Coach.net, EMBA careercoach.net. Go look there. There's various programs to help you, and hopefully we will meet again online. And let me see your if you want a free resume, free CV critique, I'm more and LinkedIn profile. I'm more than happy to do that. So thanks very much for attending. It's been a wonderful hour and close to 30 minutes, and hopefully you've gained something. Those of you who got good weekend left, like me, have a great weekend. I'm going out for a walk or exercise because health and wellness is very, very important in your career, everybody's life, and especially if you graduated, you need a lot of wellness in your life. Have a great week.